So I'm just going to get started. Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Richard Terrell. I go by Kirby Kid. Welcome to DO Live. This is a daily stream in which we talk about game design. The theme of the week and the next week and the week to follow is Super Smash Bros. Because we just found out about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and Super Smash Bros. Is my favorite game series of all time. So I have a lot to say. I've written about this a lot. I've studied Smash. I've competed. I've hosted tournaments. I've done so much for Smash. Built websites for Smash. I'm just going to try to share a lot of the thoughts that I've had basically after being influenced by this game for the last 20 years. So the topic for today, something simple, because I'm going to do some really cool things with the characters when I set up some visuals and graphs and charts. So don't have that set up quite yet, so I'm just going to hit some more of these basic topics, and we're going to cover, we covered that Smash is an analog fighter. It uses the analog stick and you move around and everything's smooth, and that pretty much makes it different in the way that it controls versus many other fighters. But really, when it comes down to it, a lot of people don't necessarily use the analog design that well. So we're going to talk a little bit about coarse versus fine control. I got my game here. I'm going to boot it up and show you what I mean. So there's two different types of analog that we're talking about with Smash. There is the, what you might call the radial. Oops, I didn't even plug in the HDMI cord because I have a Switch and a Wii U, and they both can't talk to each other without me moving the cord. There we go. Ta-da. Okay, so you could consider one type of analog to be radio analog, which is 360 degrees along the edge of your analog stick, or you can consider, what is it? Where's Fox? Maybe they should make a more effective way to find your characters on the character select screen. I am lost. There he is. Like, I just want to say out loud, Fox! He's one of ours. And just get the character. Whatever. Who are we going to beat up today? Rob. Cool backdrop for today is going to be this cool stage. So radio analog is basically what Fox can do with his up B. Apparently he has like 100 and something different angles he can do, at least in some of the other games. But as you can see, like, some of these angles are very slightly different from each other. Some are just whatever, like very obviously different from each other, like that. And you can, there's a ton of angles you can do. Basically, no matter how you're angled to the ledge, you can point directly at it for the most part. I'm not very good at it. I'm just trying to showcase what I mean. So that's analog, right? With the traditional D-pad, you can only do up, down, left, right, and then the diagonal, so that's 8. This is 100 and something. This means, in some ways, that makes the game more complicated because you are adding a whole bunch more possibilities in a more complex control device to make it happen. But in other ways, it's a lot more intuitive. Instead of picking one of 8 directions, you just point directly at where you want to go, and Fox goes there. The second style of analog is basically easing up on the control stick, so instead of moving completely forward, I showed you before with the walking, you can ease on it and change even the speed in which you walk. Like, I'm varying it up right here, and that's a lot of variation there. Not a lot of people use that kind. When we're in the air and controlling our character, we pretty much go full speed in a lot of different ways and kind of pre-measure our distance, like, oh, I'm this far away, now I can go full speed. I need to get a little further back so I can go full speed. And that's kind of how it goes with Smash. So we're going to talk about the pros and cons of thinking about Smash in terms of course and fine control. I think the obvious pros are when you... Where's my shield button? What kind of control scheme is this? Okay. When you roll like this, your character has these preset distances and pretty much goes back and forth between these distances without changing anything, like even little changes, like the same distance every time. You can measure stuff by run up shield, and you kind of get used to this distance, right? You measure stuff by your full hop, which is only this height or this height. Like short hop, full hop. You don't have anything in between. That's a very discrete way of handling jumps. They could have done it like Mario where you jump and you let go and it's different heights. Nope, not in Smash. Discrete short hop and a discrete full hop, and then your double jump's always the same size no matter what. There's no short hop double jump. Maybe you didn't know that. Something to point out. But between all these options, you know, you use coarse and fine control to get basically medium control, which is just another degree of fine control if you want to think about it that way. So like a short hop and full hop, and then I can I gotta go with Mario because I only know setups with Mario, but here's some cool stuff I can show you. So full analog control is intense. Even though it's intuitive, it's really hard to get like a very crisp, consistent output when it can be off by just like such a tiny amount, and that can make the difference between a successful combo and not. So, you know, even in Street Fighter, what they do is they find more and more interesting and precise ways to measure out their attacks. So check this out. Donkey Kong, I think it's 80 damage. When you back air him at 80 damage, this is what happens. Boom. Okay, let's go 90 damage. Back air him, you hit him hard, he spins and he falls on the ground. It's not what we want. We want Donkey Kong to barely fall over and be in spiral tumble. So let's try 101. So right when Mario's kick comes out, there's actually a small moment where his hitbox turns into a weaker version. So this is a strong version right here. Boom. But we want the weak version because the strong version, I can't do a follow-up. He flies too far away for me to follow up, and he doesn't die. So like that's not really the ideal, but check that out. If I do the weak version, boom, he's right here for me to kill him. So I could even do like a weak version like this, boom, and then smash him, right? Or if I get a little lucky and he hits to the ground, I can weak version back air, jab lock him, and then charge or smash and definitely finish him off easy. So obviously aiming for the weak version is what I want to do, but it's hard, right? Because you could way too easily like not measure the spacing out, be a little too close. You could even get the weak version going straight at his face, but that's incredibly hard. Let's see if I can get one. Because he's moving, like look at him, he's moving. Every animation you see in Smash is there. That's the weak version. Every animation you see in Smash is changing his body, which changes his hitboxes or hurt boxes, which makes it hard to even get a setup like that. But it's possible, right? So to get these setups to be more reliable, you can use a combination of coarse and fine control to get what you want. So check this out. I jump up air, and when I jump up air and I fast fall bair, it's weak. Because the timing of a full hop up air, I told you before, the full jump is always the same. And if I full jump up air and I buffer it to where the up air comes out as soon as possible, I know that if I do a back air as soon as possible and fast fall as soon as possible, that's coarse control. Like whenever I say maximum distance or as soon as possible, we're talking about coarse control, because you don't have to worry about like in between timings or like in between analog values. Just flat out do it like this, and then you'll get the setup. Let's see if I can do it. Not my best controller here, but there, setup. So like that's a way to get more precise control, and this one's precisely tuned for Donkey Kong and when he's not animating weirdly, but when he's just standing still, you can just jump up air, falling back air. And the cool part about this is if you get it right, which I can't do very consistently, up air, back air, fast fall. So now I'm going to slightly delay the up air, and it was a little close right there. There. If you do it well, Mario actually takes no landing lag because he auto cancels. Like back air like this, auto cancels and wraps up before he hits the ground, so you take no landing lag. So if you do the setup properly, you're just like boom, and you could totally be there for the follow-up smash. So there's plenty of cases in Smash where we talk about coarse versus fine control. Some people, when they're doing an edge guard, they roll like this to the ledge, and then they set it up like that to make sure that they're precisely on the edge. using a coarse roll to get that exact placement. Some people roll like this and then slightly walk forward and have different setups. Some people, what's another one? That's funny. Mario's hip check, you can actually hit like Donkey Kong in the nose by turning around backwards and angling your tilt up. But let's see, what are some other ones? I mean, people measure out up airs all the time and auto cancel moves. Like Mario's down air is another one. You can down air rising and then falling back air and auto cancel it. So I just know that that's the case. That's another example. You can measure things out. Oh, I want to show you one of my favorite ones. It's so good. So, just another point here on the list. I'll read a few of them so we can keep covering them. This is Coarse versus Fine Control, but it's kind of hard to walk and smash because of the analog stick. Like, as great as it is and as great as the Nintendo controllers are, having such fine control over one appendage is more and more difficult. That's why some people actually play Smash. If I can show you. I can't show you. By gripping it, I'm not even on camera. Like gripping it like this with their two fingers, so that with two fingers you have twice as much fine control because you're using more muscles, and one muscle group doesn't have to do all the work of fine tuning it. Music King plays like that in Smash 4 and in Melee, I think. So, yeah, but otherwise, just using your thumb is kind of hard. That's why it's hard to walk. I think they made walking too sensitive in Smash 4, and that's why a lot of people dash like by default and can't do anything else but dash. So that's kind of a thing. So we're investigating how Smashers have adapted and use a combination of Coarse and Fine Control to get what they want. There was a comment submitted by Zara from our Discord, and he said, like, why isn't there a custom, like, dedicated smash button versus a dedicated tilt button? Because, you know, depending on how much force you put on the analog stick, which is basically how quickly you can move it across its analog states, you'll get either a smash attack or you'll get a tilt. And he kind of doesn't like messing that up. Ooh. He doesn't like doing one versus the other. He doesn't like messing it up. He always wants a little bit more security, but you know, the game's called Smash Brothers, and one of the core ideas is being able to vary the strength of your moves somewhat intuitively by going like, if I want a stronger move, I need to put more energy into it. And at some point, like, I could definitely see how having a dedicated smash or tilt button would increase the accessibility of Smash, but it's kind of one of those design decisions. It's like the very foundation of Smash. It's like one of the original ideas he had before all this history of Smash happened. So it's not just a matter of changing things for the sake of accessibility. That is what Smash is, and you know, we just all have to deal with it one way or another. Another question somebody asked is, what made the GameCube controller so integral to Smash? Is it nostalgia, or is it just what all the fans are used to? I actually think the GameCube controller is now bad for Smash. The analog sticks, with all that deep pressure that you push down before it clicks, makes it to where, like, pressing on it a little bit doesn't register the button as precisely and as quickly as it would if it were just a digital button. And in Brawl, it was horrible. You had to press it almost all the way down to get a shield. And then they improved it in Smash 4 where you can press it like a little bit or halfway, but I'd rather just not have that delay at all. That's why I changed my shield button in Smash 4 to the Z button on top for the GameCube controller. The C stick's alright. I like the placement, but I don't like the weird nubbiness of it. The D-pad's still small, as it has been for so many years. I don't necessarily like the button layout of the GameCube controller for playing Smash. I like this 4-button layout, which is A, B, X, Y from the standard controller, because then the Y and X buttons are jump, and there's one jump button for B and one jump button for A, so jump special, jump air attack just seems to work out a lot better than hitting jump and then rocking down to the B button down there. So, you know, I play Smash on a Wiimote, I play with Wiimote Nunchuck, I play Smash on a GameCube controller, I play Smash on a gamepad, Wii gamepad, and a 3DS. You could pretty much play Smash on anything, but I just don't think there's a GameCube controller is that important to Smash, especially now that light shielding and things like that are gone. And I kind of wanted a dedicated grab button for Smash. It's kind of like the same thing we talked about with having a dedicated Smash versus tilt button, except for with a grab button right here, I'll show you, it's a macro. I showed you that in the last video. Yeah, this is a macro, and because it's a macro, you can kind of overload it and get things you didn't want out of it. So, you know, I would like a little bit more a control scheme that gives me less opportunity to mess up like that. But back to coarse and fine control, here's another interesting thing about Smash. Like, these platforms are very precisely positioned, and, you know, maybe it's just, I'm used to Mario, maybe not all characters are tuned like this, but it's really cool how you can auto-cancel a forward air by rising up to this platform. See how he just recovers immediately on landing? If you don't do anything and full hop, immediate forward air, you can land with no lag. That's cool. That means you can do stuff like this. Oops. So let's get you some damage. 30 and reset. Boop. So now you can do this, boom, and then kind of lock them, then push them off, and then kind of lock them down here, and then charge a smash, oop, and then potentially kill him, but it doesn't quite work that way. You can also combo it forward air if he doesn't get knocked away. Let's try 20. A lot of people don't know this because a lot of people are afraid of platforms, but that's another video for another day. Oh, it's probably 25. So it's right before the forward air is strong enough to send him into a tumble, but enough hits done that I can auto-cancel land this. Oop. Still not enough. Crazy. No, that's too much. But that did combo, because he tripped. And he can tech that, that's why it's not a true combo, but teching on the platform is not good. You can easily track that. So this, there. Quit getting tripped. That should be a combo, but it's not. It combos Ryu. I guess Donkey Kong's a little too heavy for whatever reason. But like, measuring things out with platforms is another form of coarse control. Just knowing that if you jump down there full hop, that you can fast fall at the top of it and get an auto cancel. Just like knowing these distances by what the stage looks like, you're dead. And how that's set up, that's another way of just basically taming. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back.
Let's go. You have to vacuum up a cockroach or something?
Crisis averted. Jeez. Okay. I don't even remember what I was saying. Probably something about platforms. and using the stage to measure things out for you. There's a lot of ways to do that. That's just another way that Smash is analog. So jumping up to these platforms, you use your coarse jumps, but then there's ways of changing that by fast falling, changing your timing, measuring things out by how they animate or how far away they are. So players are constantly doing this in Smash. Oh, one of my favorites is with Marth. I think it started with Brawl, but in Brawl it was harder to sweet spot the neutral B charge. So what people started doing to measure things out, like this is what they did. They let's go to this level. Walk into their opponent when they get a shield break because they have plenty of time to measure things out in this case. And then they walk into them like this. Shield, roll back, and then charge B. And that was the perfect distance in Brawl to get that. Not the case anymore, apparently. But, yeah, that's interesting, right? Using coarse control to help you manage the analog. I think analog is one of those things where it's so sort of intuitive but hard to sort of master that you're constantly going to be looking for tips, tricks, and ways of gaining more control over Smash, whether that's measuring things by your frame data and knowing like after I do this I know my timing's this, or measuring things by other means. But that's neither, I mean, that's just life. I think working your way up and finding ways of mastering the control they give you is why this game's so challenging just by touching buttons. It's something that makes the very core base of the game engaging and interesting, and it's why a lot of the Smash clones in their rush to sort of copy wave dashing and other Smash techniques are missing so much of what makes Smash great. It's not all that sort of spastic advanced techniques and all that taken to the extreme. It's really those techniques were created to give people more control over the analogness so they could just do some well-spaced, relatively basic attacks in the right place and time, because that's really what action games are all about, doing things in the right place at the right time. So I think that's really all I wanted to say about controls and how people play the game. Keep a lookout next time you watch a Smash video and be like, how much are they walking? How much wavering do you see them do in midair? When somebody's going for an edge guard by jumping off the stage or whatever, like how do you see them setting themselves up beforehand? If you see Zero play Diddy Kong and he's edge guarding, they are so precise. You gotta look at this stuff. They throw a banana and they grab it, then they shoot peanuts to where the tiny little peanuts, which maybe I can do it, tumble perfectly in the air and like hit a character right over the ledge, and they've measured those distances out perfectly. So however they do it, they figured out a way to do it. Let's go to this stage. Yeah, so like let's pretend Donkey Kong's on the ledge even though he's not. Get out of here. They like, as soon as they throw someone off the stage, they like grab a down B, grab it out of neutral air, and then they land precisely at the spot. This is not it. I'm gonna have to go to fixed so you can see it. Where is it? That's not the spot either. They know their spots. That. They do that. And they can hit this spot like all the time. And sometimes you can see them like miss a little and they just go eek, and then they just keep it up. See, that's way too far. I want to hit someone, their hands on the ledge, and this is probably it. That. Maybe even further back. Yeah, something like that. So while their nerves are going and while they're playing at the highest level, they can do stuff like that. This and measure it out. Whoa, the peanuts have variance? I didn't know that. Learn something new every day. But yeah, coarse versus fine control. It's a good way to evaluate how much of the very direct and straightforward Smash gameplay the players are engaging in. If they're doing too much coarse, then you could consider that an imbalance. You can start thinking about what's wrong or what may be different to help bring back sort of some more fine control and analog controlled tactics and strategies and positioning. So that's just a cool thing to keep in mind. we're going to tackle some more interesting character-specific strategies and hopes and dreams and letdowns and all these things that have happened over the history of Smash. I'm going to hopefully get a copy of Brawl and Melee to potentially showcase different things, because I can't explain everything in Smash 4. But until then, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.